That's a pretty cool little deal they got going there.
Yeah,
Everyone
cool
wants.
hats.
They look like cool hats, yeah.
Right? Everyone wants a unique hat. So, so glad you're with us. Glad to be back with you here on this Tuesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Rampur. Yeah, you had a couple days off.
Yeah.
Because Coach Connert was in action.
Yes, well, we were wearing baseball hats
Yeah.
all weekend long, and we were in Phoenix for a tournament, and I've got some pictures to share with you later on in the show here. But made it to the semifinals. Very proud of our team here. So very exciting. We played teams from all over the country.
Yeah, and we caught a little spring training.
They got to catch the first spring training baseball game, the Padres against the Mariners. It was 80 degrees sunny on this quaint little field that they have there in Peoria, Arizona. It was just such a great experience.
Yeah, for those kids, that's such a fun. They'll never forget that. Being able to meet the Padres. Yeah, how cool. Very fun. It's going to be another warm one out there. We start off the morning with some overnight lows that are very mild for the most part, mainly in the 50s. We're going to warm up, though, pretty well into the 70s across the coastline. Possibility of hitting 80 as that forecast high. 83 across your inland valleys. Plenty of sunshine in the mix. We'll talk about how warm we're going to get over the next several days. Want to talk to you about one crash that we're tracking. So, we got the right-hand shoulder blocked with a crash on the 5 northbound. This is before the 75, also known as the Coronado Bridge. So that's where we're running into a little bit of trouble right now, and you can see how even in the 5 northbound lanes, we're starting to see the yellow and orange creep up in there, meaning people are trying to get over that bridge and running into some difficulty. So we'll let you know if we see that clear anytime soon, but for now, CHP is on scene. I'll send things back to you guys.
Thanks, Evan. And this morning, the average price of a gallon of gas inching closer now to the $6 mark. We're up $5.94 a gallon. That's our average price here in San Diego, a little over $2 more than 1 year ago.
Yeah, on the other side of the border in Arizona, it was $1.20 less that I paid. So I made sure to fill up there before I came back into the state. Yep, Californians paying what experts call a mystery surcharge, which looks to be just extra profit for oil companies. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live at Chula Vista now with a new push to address all of this. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Here in Chula Vista, $6.23. People are looking for some transparency in terms of what they're paying for per gallon. Now, once taxpayer money is accounted for, some of those numbers aren't adding up. That's why lawmakers are looking to introduce a bill to make sure oil refineries are disclosing all of their profit. We spoke to Consumer Watchdog about this.
We're paying for the fact that 5 oil refiners control 96% of the gas supply. And when they want to squeeze us to make more money because there's a world event that allows them to, they do it.
Now, here's part of what Californians are paying at the pump per gallon. 51 cents in state taxes, 24 cents for the cap and trade program, 13 cents for low carbon fuel. Now subtract the difference other states pay in taxes, and Californians should pay about 60 cents more per gallon. However, based on the national average, Californians are paying $1.60 more. So now people are wondering if that extra dollar we're seeing at the pump comes down to greed. Consumer Watchdog says 30 cents of that dollar can be explained by a 2015 refinery outage, which has been since resolved, but Californians are still paying for it. Oil refineries charge their own branded gas stations 30 to 40 cents more per gallon when they deliver the fuel, but charge the unbranded independent stations 30 to 40 cents less for that exact same fuel. Experts believe that even with that explanation, that still leaves 70 cents unaccounted for, which could be in the refinery's pocket. That's why the California bill being introduced makes those oil refineries disclose how much money that they are making. Consumer Watchdog does give us a little bit of a tip. They say Costco doesn't include the tax from that refinery fire back in 2015, so it's a little bit cheaper. Of course, we know that, but here's a little bit of insight into why we're paying some of those dollars and cents above the national average. Of course, we'll keep you updated in terms of that bill being introduced, but for right now here in Chula Vista, $6.23 is what I filled my car up this morning, and a lot of pain at the pump we continue to see. I'm Dana Marie McNichol. I'll send it back to you.
Dana Marie, thank you so much for that. Well, a refinery strike now in the Bay Area could drive gas prices even higher. Workers walked off the job yesterday. They're demanding a 5% pay increase. For now, Chevron says operations at the refinery will continue since they already brought in workers to replace the striking employees. But experts say gas prices could be impacted if the refinery is forced to shut down. Another gas theft, and this time this happened in the Talmadge neighborhood. A couple tells us they were were on a walk recently when they noticed gas leaking from the bottom of a truck. They called the fire department, and when crews arrived, they found a hole drilled right there into the gas tank. Firefighters were able to clean up all the gas that was leaking out onto the road. So far, there have been no arrests or suspect descriptions released on who drilled a hole into someone's tank. And then here at CBS 8, we want to help you save money when you fill up. So text the word gas to this number right here, 858-571-8888, for a link to an interactive map. It shows gas prices all across San Diego County. You can also find it on the help button at cbs8.com.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is ready to discuss a deal with Russia. It includes Ukraine's commitment to not join NATO in exchange for a ceasefire, withdrawal of Russian troops, and a guarantee of Ukraine's security. Meantime, new video shows Russian troops using stun grenades and gunfire to dispense protesters in one Ukrainian city. At least one person was hurt here, and at least 8 people were killed in an attack on a shopping mall. Russia claims it was being used to store weapons, but the U.S. isn't buying it. And this morning, confirmation hearings resume for Supreme Court Justice nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Jackson was nominated by President Biden to replace retiring Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. If confirmed, the 51-year-old will become the first black woman to sit on the high court. San Diego County supervisors will appoint an interim sheriff today after a final round of interviews. They are considering 3 candidates, all law enforcement veterans. The interim sheriff will serve until next January as they finish out the remainder of former Sheriff Bill Gore's term. Gore retired last month after serving as sheriff since 2009. In November, voters will elect a successor.
Now, it's considered a first-of-its-kind project here in San Diego County. Today marks a major milestone over a plan that's changing how we get our drinking water. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live in Oceanside now with a closer look at this project that has been years in the making. Good morning to you, Chris.
Good morning, and yeah, we're inside the Pure Water Project here in Oceanside, and today, again, they are marking this as a special occasion. They're dedicating it, they're having their ribbon cutting, but this does mean a big historic movement here when it comes to locally sourcing water using reclaimed water. Now, we actually previously got an inside look at this, and the goal for this project is to provide more than 20%, somewhere between 20 to 30% of the city's water supply here in Oceanside. To give you an idea of how much that is, that's 3 to 5 million gallons per day. Now, why is this historic, as we pointed out? Well, it's the first operating potable water reuse project in San Diego County. Now, again, the way that it works is that wastewater is treated and run through an ultrafiltration process. They then pump it back into the ground and pump it back out to treat it again. Now, a benefit for pumping the water back into the aquifer is that actually recharges the system. So there's 2 benefits there. It helps the aquifer, but it also keeps the process of filtrating and purifying that water as natural as possible. This is a big movement, again, because Oceanside gets so much of their water from outside sources. Congressman Mike Levin, who will be here today, spoke to us when we previously toured the facility.
And a lot of the innovation is happening right here in North San Diego County, and I always like bragging about all the great things that are happening in North San Diego County when it comes to water innovation, when it comes to how we're leading on sustainability. This project's another great example.
Now, where does Oceanside get most of its drinking water? The Sacramento Bay Delta, and as well as the Colorado River. To learn more about exactly what's happening here today, you can go to our website, cbs8.com. Click on that story link. Eric and Netta.
All right, Chris, thanks for that. Check it outside here on a Tuesday. Things nice and mild to start off with here.
Very mild as far as temperatures go. Conditions outside pretty clear. We are running into a almost summer-like day across San Diego County. It's 6:09 right now. We're about 40 minutes shy of the sunrise. Still pretty dark outside, but a beautiful live look from Mount Soledad looking toward downtown, off to a very nice start to the day. Temperatures going to warm up to the upper 70s and low 80s out there. Plenty of sunshine in the mix with that ridge building overhead. These temperatures are in many cases 10, 15 degrees above average for this time of year, so looking really, really nice overall. Now, keep in mind a wind advisory is currently in effect. This one lasts all the way through 2 p.m. across your inland valleys and your mountaintops today. Tan color on the screen showing where it is, and this really goes all the way up through Orange County, LA County, Riverside County. So quite expansive thanks to those Santa Ana wind gusts that are in play today. But because of those wind gusts and because of the ridge of high pressure building, our temperatures overnight have been really around average, if not slightly above average. 54 right now in San Diego, 53 in Oceanside, 48 in Escondido, 41 in Ramona. That's about the coldest spot on the map there. 63 in Borrego Springs. And you can see how gusts are going to be the main thing to contend with today, the primary hazard on the map. Now, first thing to mention is the direction of those arrows, right? We're moving from about the northeast all the way to the southwest. These are offshore winds, Santa Ana's. What happens is this wind comes across the mountaintops, it compresses and heats up as it does so, and then as it comes over the foothills and inland valleys, well, things start to speed up dramatically. So you see how breezy it is in Julian, for example, at Booker Hill, 27 mile per hour gusts, 22 in Julian Boulevard at 17. Pretty gusty out there, and it will remain that way all the way through about 2 p.m. Ridge of high pressure stays in place for today, tomorrow, Thursday, and even Friday, really, and then starts to break down by the weekend, bringing in a chance for showers into early next week. We'll run into that in just a bit. Take a look at that 8-day forecast and talk about what we mean there, even though it's pretty far out. Let's talk about what's going on in traffic this morning. So far, there are just a couple things to take you to. I want to first take you to North County. So this is a crash that we see on the 5. This is at La Costa Avenue, just farther off to the north of Encinitas. Number 3 lane is blocked there with that crash on the 5 northbound at La Costa. Taking you farther south, just around the downtown area, we got the right-hand shoulder blocked with the crash on the 5 northbound. This is as you get onto the Coronado Bridge. Plenty of slower speeds associated with this, even though this is on the right-hand shoulder. So expect some delays on the 5 northbound going toward Coronado. Also, a stalled vehicle on the 805 northbound. This is as you get onto the 163. So that's where we're running into a little bit of difficulty. Basically, where the 805 meets the 163 is where that stalled vehicle is. CHP is on scene of all of these crashes or stalled vehicles, so we're going to clear those into the next hour. So back to you guys.